Bacterial resistance to antibiotics, a growing crisis. Introduction. Antibiotic-resistant bacteria are rapidly becoming one of the most severe threats to global public health. Once easily treatable infections are now evolving into life-threatening conditions due to the overuse and misuse of antibiotics. If this crisis is not addressed, we may soon enter a post-antibiotic era where even minor infections could become fatal. The rise of resistant bacteria is a complex issue driven by genetic adaptation, medical practices, and agricultural antibiotic use, necessitating urgent action from governments, healthcare professionals, and researchers. How bacteria develop antibiotic resistance. Bacteria are highly adaptable organisms, and their ability to resist antibiotics stems from genetic changes and evolutionary pressure. Several key mechanisms contribute to resistance: mutation and natural selection. 1. Bacteria undergo random mutations, some of which allow them to survive antibiotic treatment. 2. When antibiotics kill off non-resistant bacteria, resistant strains thrive and multiply, leading to treatment failures. Horizontal gene transfer. 1. Bacteria can exchange genetic material through plasmids, spreading resistance genes across different species. 2. This mechanism allows even harmless bacteria to become carriers of drug resistance, increasing the risk of widespread infections. Biofilm formation. 1. Some bacteria form protective biofilms, which act as a shield against antibiotics. 2. Biofilms are commonly found in hospital-acquired infections, making them particularly difficult to treat. Main drivers of antibiotic resistance. The rapid emergence of drug-resistant bacteria is largely a result of human actions. Key factors include overprescription and misuse of antibiotics. 1. Doctors sometimes prescribe antibiotics for viral infections, where they are completely ineffective. 2. Patients who fail to complete their prescribed antibiotic course contribute to the survival of partially resistant bacteria. Antibiotic use in agriculture. 1. Antibiotics are frequently used in livestock farming to promote growth and prevent disease, even when not medically necessary. 2. Resistant bacteria from farm animals can enter the food chain, affecting human health. Lack of investment in new antibiotics. 1. Many pharmaceutical companies have reduced research into new antibiotics due to low profitability and high development costs. 2. As existing antibiotics lose effectiveness, there are fewer alternatives available for treating resistant infections. Consequences of antibiotic resistance. If antibiotic resistance continues to rise unchecked, the impact on global health and economies will be devastating. Rise in untreatable infections. 1. Diseases such as tuberculosis, TB, gonorrhea, and methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, MRSA, are becoming harder to cure. 2. Minor infections and routine surgeries could become life-threatening due to the risk of untreatable bacterial infections. Longer hospital stays and economic strain. 1. Patients suffering from drug-resistant infections require longer hospitalization and more expensive treatments. 2. The economic burden of antibiotic resistance is projected to reach trillions of dollars in healthcare costs and lost productivity worldwide. Global health threat. 1. The World Health Organization, WHO, warns that by 2050, antibiotic-resistant infections could cause 10 million deaths per year, surpassing cancer as a leading cause of death. 2. Developing nations with weaker healthcare systems will face the highest mortality rates due to limited access to effective treatments. Strategies to combat antibiotic resistance. Addressing this crisis requires a multi-pronged approach involving healthcare professionals, policymakers, researchers, and the public. Reducing antibiotic overuse. 1. Physicians must follow strict prescribing guidelines, ensuring antibiotics are only used when truly necessary. 2. Public awareness campaigns should educate communities about the dangers of self-medication and incomplete antibiotic courses. Developing new antibiotics and therapies. 1. Increased investment is needed in research and development to create novel antibiotics that can target resistant bacteria. 2. Bacteriophage therapy, which uses viruses to infect and kill bacteria, is emerging as a promising alternative. 3. AI-driven drug discovery is being used to identify new antimicrobial compounds more efficiently. Improving hygiene and infection control. 1. Strengthening sanitation and hygiene practices in hospitals and communities can reduce the spread of infections. 2. Vaccination programs help prevent bacterial infections, reducing the need for antibiotics in the first place. Regulating antibiotic use in agriculture. 1. Stricter regulations should be enforced to limit antibiotic use in livestock farming, ensuring antibiotics are only used for treating infections. 2. Sustainable farming practices can help reduce reliance on antibiotics without compromising animal health. The future of antibiotic resistance. While antibiotic resistance remains a growing crisis, scientific advancements offer hope for the future. Microscope, next-generation antibiotics. Researchers are exploring synthetic antibiotics and microbiome-based therapies to target drug-resistant bacteria. Africa, global surveillance networks, AI-powered monitoring systems are being developed to track antibiotic resistance trends and prevent outbreaks. Microbe, alternative treatments, emerging therapies such as antimicrobial peptides, CRISPR-based gene editing, and nanotechnology are being studied as potential solutions. Rockets, public health initiatives, governments and international organizations are working to enforce better antibiotic stewardship programs to slow resistance development. Conclusion: bacterial resistance to antibiotics is a major threat that requires urgent global action. Without intervention, modern medicine could regress, making common infections deadly once again. However, by promoting responsible antibiotic use, investing in new treatments, and strengthening global health policies, we can slow the spread of resistance and protect future generations. The fight against antibiotic resistance is one of the defining medical challenges of our time, and it demands collective effort from governments, scientists, and individuals alike.